Welcome to the CM Kozeman live stream again. It's been a while, so that's maybe why there are only three of you. Let me fix the light and everything. And hello, everybody. It's been a while. Behold the power of this fully operational speculative evolution research station. Got lots of books and lots of stuff. Used to be that there would be 30, 40 people watching in these streams, but I'm only seeing 2 viewers now. But actually, lots of people are commenting. So maybe the numbers are wrong. Okay, 12 people. Good. Hello, everybody. Hello, Oriosaurus. Hello, Manuel. Hello, Astromangos. Hello, Vardin. Hello, Manuel Axolot. Hello, Squoit. Hello, Onur. Selamlar. Hello, BTW. Interesting times. I love it so much, he says. I love it too. Braden Zimmer says hi. Hello, Gnome's Child. Hello, Oriosaurus. Oriosaurus says, didn't we get 50 people once? The record was 70 people. I think sometime in the spring of last year. Yeah, that was an all-time high. Absentfish says hello. Arcanus says hello. Winso Venator says, greetings from some weird text art kind of place. But yeah, 19 people. Hello, I'll take a sip of my coffee and stuff. And you guys make yourselves comfortable. It's going to be a nice, easygoing night. The title is just bait. We are going through a very unprecedented time, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Astromango says I have to go soon. Well, it's okay. 24 people watching. Why don't you call your friends or like people you know on Discord or whatever it is that people use these days? I'll take a sip of my coffee, get some water, and we can get the night started. I missed you all. I'll be right back. Warden says, I don't think any of my friends care. Oh my God. That's a bit sad, but it's okay. Mr. Kozeman, will you be on at 45 minutes? I think I will be. So yeah, it's been 4 minutes. I'll start at 5. And how have you been? How is the summer treating you? How is the state of the world treating you? I hope you're doing all right. Lots of nice emojis and flowers coming. YouTube Joseph says, I'll be back at 5:55 Eastern. Ferial says, what's the emergency? What happened? Well, the world is edging towards like a big phony war. I think that's a huge emergency. The tit for tat missile attacks between Israel and Iran. War is like people are speaking about war as a realistic possibility, and that's something I never thought I would see. But Ferial says, I bet nothing ever happens. Well, I don't like that meme. You say that, but actually so much has happened. Nothing ever happens is, I think, a proverb for the glib. You go back to someone 10 years ago and show them the world today. There's been a global pandemic, a big war in Europe, ICBMs used operationally, missile wars between industrial nations. That's not nothing ever happens. BTV 63 says, reckless children and bloodthirsty simpletons playing a very dangerous game. I believe that the generation that grew up having lived through World War II is now dead. And now, I think in some way this connects with the aging and dying of the boomer generation too. Because now nobody is left alive in power who knows what an actual shooting war is like. Well, nobody in the Western world. And they're kind of trying to bake it into their daily run of operations. I don't know. Eli Amirami says, yo, CM Kozeman is live. B says, is this about Israel and Iran? I just joined. It's about that, but I'm just talking about how the term nothing ever happens is not really relevant. Because if you go back 5 years and show them today, you would shock anybody. 7 minutes, 27 people watching. Let me share some news with you. I have been developing a body of paleo art, almost in the fashion of John James Audubon. I've been using pencils and watercolors only and creating really nice, beautifully textured things. This is Eustratospondylus. Nice watercolor painting. There's more. This is the herbivorous dinosaur Fauna, a relative of Tesselosaurus, which lived in the Hell Creek Formation. And I just draw them straight onto watercolor paper with a pencil outline and then use watercolors to fill them in. You see, previously I've been using watercolors to paint sketches or to make surreal artwork. But with these guys now, I'm creating like an enormous body of just very accurate, very realistic paleo art and dinosaurs. You care to guess which one this is? Jakub Rabiniuk says, make dinosaurs, not war. Well, I'm going to make dinosaurs and turn a profit, hopefully, because I will be selling all of these and more at this year's DinoCon event in Exeter, United Kingdom, in the 17th of August, 16th to 17th of August. And yeah, let's just hope my travel visa comes in. And then you'll be able to purchase these pieces and more. I've been making like skeletal drawings like crazy. Like, look at just a sheaf of dinosaurs. I've been posing and making collages of skeletons for animals. And then I've been using a light table under the watercolor paper to trace and reproduce these. So, and they form the basis of the thing. I don't know if it shows. No, it doesn't show, but yeah, basically this is the skeleton, this is the animal. And you can see what kind of paleo art process takes place when I'm fleshing them out. Fauna Herzogae. And the skeletal drawings are just really nice to have a bunch of dinosaurs in your hand. It's nice. I'll be selling a lot of stuff, including some major surprises, which may or may not include the original paintings from the All Tomorrows book. If you come there, you can get them. Hayden says, hello, Mr. Kozeman. Hello, Hayden. And hello, Nelson Moreno. How tall are these dinosaurs, says B? It varies. I mean, Eotyrannus here was very large. I mean, very large, like 4 meters long. So not very large for a tyrannosaur, but still kind of big. Let's get this too. All right. How has the summer been treating you all, y'all? I hope you've been safe and happy. That's all that there is. 33 people watching. I received fan mail recently from somebody who served in the US Marines. And I'm not going to name anybody, but this guy said, like, he was listening to my podcast in the barracks and like it helped sustain him through some hard times. And I'm just, wow. I mean, I'm just a silly Turkish guy, silly Turkish eccentric, talking about weird stuff. And I mean, that kind of feedback always makes my day. Almost 40 people watching. 38. Okay, now we can do a roll call. It's that time of the evening where you tell me where you all are from. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Let's go. Onur Taner is from Olympos, also known as Çıralı, Antalya. Wonderful place. You're living in paradise. I hope tourism didn't make too much of a mess out of it. Nelson Moreno is from Portugal. B is from Germany. Braden Zimmer is from Omaha, Nebraska. Represent. Blake Richardson is from the States. Eli Amirami is from Bristol. Warden is a wee little Irish lad, so maybe, I don't know, Belfast. Ferial is from Ankara. Caleb from Mississippi. Malia Artan from Kütahya. Really nice place. Musti is from Istanbul. B2W is from Canada, affectionately called Kanukistan. Kanukstan, Zindabad. Gavin Tidbell says hello. Squoit is from Eskişehir, my favorite city in Turkey. C Cyborg is from Mamaroneck, New York, longtime supporter. Gavin Tidbell from Florida. Soft E from Texas, US. Jakub Rabimniuk from Czechia, Prague, very nice. Blake is from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Okay. Ryan Dos is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, an up and coming nation in the region. I hope you guys can divest away from oil. I know they're doing some really nice touristic initiatives recently, but it remains to be seen. Leo Muar is from Basque Country, Spain. Indie Wizard is from Latvia. Onur Taner is from Deliktaş, well, near Olympos in Antalya, Turkey. Absent fish is from Oldenburg, Germany. Donkey glossolalia is from Earth. Cem Yıldız is from Enschede. And that is that. Vince Venator says, how would you design one of those stupid mega predators that eat up ecosystems? Like human beings. I think there's this trope in speculative evolution where you've got like a monster creature and it's like so predatory, it eats everything. But actually, you can be a world eater if you just cooperate and you are an omnivore. And maybe if you know how to cook. Because being able to burn stuff and eat it, it's a superpower. B says, those moments always make me realize how cool place names are. I wish I could come up with names like, well, there are dictionaries of place names, you know. There's actually, I have one. It's a lovely book. There is this book, Place Names of the World by Adrian Room. And I mean, just give me a random page number and we can have fun with it. Ferial says, have you ever thought about full-time live streaming? No. It really drains your spirit. Like, I can't live stream 2 nights in a row. And I am very, well, my streams are very light. I also don't like turning into one of those react streamers or these news reaction people. I mean, you got a lot of names like, I don't know, Asmongold now, Destiny, Waush, Hasanabi. I used to have very sharp opinions about these people, but you know, they always make a comeback even when they're caught in the deepest of scandals. But I just think it's a really awful, like, so tonight, let's say, oh, Iran fires another missile. And then the next day, you talk about this and somebody photoshops your face. War escalates. Or next day, here's what Trump said. Like, it's like porn. I think doing that for a man is almost as taxing as doing OnlyFans must be for a woman. I'm not really happy. I would not be really happy. On the other hand, I do fantasize about this like multi-million streaming ring where I'm like, I got this like almost like a news presenter's office kind of thing with like full professional audio and video, and then I just talk. But I think I would need to have a team with me, and I think I would need to have a co-host. Another gripe I have about niche live streamers, they could be about science fiction or, well, weird stuff in general. I think there's a cautionary story in the tale of this one person, Metatron. He's an Italian Sicilian guy who emigrated to the States, and he's very famous. Almost got 1 million subscribers. And he used to make videos and documentaries about ancient astronauts and, well, weird archaeological stuff. But then I think he had a kid, and in order to pay the bills, he slowly gravitated towards drama content and react content. And the last time I checked, and we are recording on the 25th of June, 2025, he was like trying to get us Mongols to notice him. Like, this grown man is trying to get like a 29-year-old to notice him. So he steals some of his clout. So he's pretending to be like, oh, I wouldn't want to be like that, you know? Got lots of questions and comments. Wait. Nelson Moreno says Destiny has survived multiple scandals. Yes, he was a big gooner with mentally unstable women. And like I'm surprised at how he did not get canceled when he texted. He was texting with an e-girl. An e-girl sent him a picture of her when she was a child, and he said, "Oh, I never met someone I would like to bend over their toys so much." And that's that's bad. But if you study the transformation of this character, Destiny, Stephen Bonnell, you can see that obviously there's big money riding on these things. He's not a random guy with a shotgun in the background just talking his mind, playing games and debating. No, these are like well-oiled machines. And so this Destiny character, many of you know it, but he got embroiled in these like weird sex scandals. But turns out the victims were probably gold diggers too. So he won in court against them. But for a while he was like sex pestiny, rapestiny, whatever, Epsteiny. And I think he strikes me as an unsavory character. Like, but that's the thing. Like, these people are so easy to hate. But even when you're hating them, you're actually giving them engagement. So he did a really slick and really smart PR move. You notice if you look at his older posts, he's got blue hair and he's more like liberal coded. But now in his recent videos, post sex scandal, his portraits are more wise. He looks older. He's got a beard. He's a different man now. But that's not a coincidence. That's intentional. Also, he never plays computer games. He used to have this like annoying thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm just playing and debating 5 people at the same time," and it's computer games. Yeah, I would love that money, but I don't know. I'm happy with my little flock of people. Many questions and comments. Okay. Somebody says turn page 88 in the place names of the world book. Okay. 88. That better not be a Nazi dog whistle, the number 88. Okay. Oh, we got this nice city, Cincinnati, city in north central United States. Named after the Society of the Cincinnati, a hereditary order, something like the Freemasons, that was named after the 5th century Roman general Cincinnatus, regarded as a model of soldierly simplicity and embodiment of Republican values. Originally, the town was called Lausanville, which was a Greek-French pidgin for it meaning opposite town at the mouth of Licking Creek. But then they decided to be all legendary about it. Okay, one more page. Gavin Tidwell says 348. Let's do it. So there's Swindon and there's Swaziland. Which one should we look at? Swindon being the home of another online grifter, Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin. BTW says Cincinnatus was a rare example of a great man who was also a good man. He just wanted to farm, for God's sake. Milady Cass says, I'm staying in Edison, New Jersey. Okay, let's do Swaziland, say 2 people. So let's read about Swaziland. kingdom in southern Africa, bordered by Mozambique, takes its name from the name used by the Zulus to denote its indigenous people, the Swazi. The people's own name for themselves is Swati from Mswati, name of a 16th century king. So yeah, land of the people was Swaziland. Books like these are really nice. Like if you go to a second-hand bookshop or have some money to burn. By the way, 51 people watching, really strong numbers. Thank you. And if you're watching this on replay or watching it now, I know we got super chats available, but I'm having a momentary problem claiming those funds. So I'd be happier if you go to my Patreon and subscribe to me there for $1. And I'd be very happy. How about the origin of the name Turkey? Well, yes, we got the book. Let's look it up. The way I remember it, it was actually the settlers saw those birds first because they had a name for Turkey beforehand. And they called the birds after Turkey because they were puffed up like Ottoman sultans. But let's see what the book tells us. Yeah, it's not after the bird. Turkey takes its name from that of the indigenous people, the Turks. Their own name may mean strong and powerful, based and nice. Rayando says, have you read Brave New World? I have. Brave New World, I put it in the same section of the bookshelf with 1984. It's like a kind of technological social dystopia. I remember everyone goes around in helicopters and hooks up, and also people are grown in labs by their IQ capacity. So you get alpha, beta, delta, gamma levels of intelligence. Alphas are like administrators, beta are like mid-level managers, and all the way down. They had an experiment in the world of the Brave New World once called the Cyprus experiment. And they took a bunch of very high IQ people, only high IQ people, and created a parallel society on the island of Cyprus. But it didn't work out, and all the intellectuals began to kill each other, showing that, according to at least the rules of that book, you had to have hierarchies for a society to function. Alt History Zone says, I love your video on naked lunch. It helped me motivate myself to write. I'm really happy. That book is amazing. Just like full on stream of consciousness writing. Beautiful fan. Yes. It's a warm summer night. Beautiful fan and beautiful fans. I'm lucky to have you. So, Milady Cass says, my father is obsessed with Fox News. He believes it's a legitimate news source. My mom and most of my adult family are the same. Help me. Well, what I think about this matter might strike you as counterintuitive, but you will never be able to change how they think. And unless they force you to live that conservative life, which they may be doing, I don't know, you shouldn't seek conflict with them. As I keep telling, blood is thicker than water. Your family could be conservative. You just have to get along well with them and just make sure they don't screw you over. But you can't really change them. But I know families can be complicated. Warden says, I am drawing yaoi right now. Do you approve? Oh my God. Well, I mean, I can't control what you draw. Everybody approves Warden's yaoi drawings. Well, I just hope you learn how to draw anatomy and expressions with them. And I know personally, like, I like drawing human figures, sexy figures, but I don't have this thing where I make characters and have them kiss or like get into gooey situations and stuff. It's like making Barbie dolls have sex. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm older and maybe I am the curmudgeon. Who knows? I'm just gonna put these dinosaurs back and let's have some question. Let's have some questions in the meantime. I'm also gonna put the place names of the world back. So if you got any last questions from this book, let me know. If you were to kiss one Snayat creature, which one would you choose, says Sea Cyborg? One of the Bulumbo Man creatures, the little fat penguin-like things. I think I got a framed picture of one of them here, actually. Hop. This is an original print. This is all the way from 2007. Some of you may not have even been born back then. Milady Cass says, my parents are conservatives, but my mom is more cool with LGBTQ. Look, with family, unless they have physically hurt you, don't pick political fights with them. The apple does fall far from the tree. Don't, you will never be able to change their mind, and they will never be able to change yours. But, like, don't fight with them over this. You can't change their minds. And you'll be happy. Like, you'll look back one day. I said, oh, I wish my dad was alive. I wish my mom was still alive. And I wasted all that time fighting about Fox News or religion with them. That day will come. As they say in Turkish, Allah sıralı ölüm versin, which means, may God grant you death in timely order. But it's gonna be a day you're all gonna face. So, okay. I'll be right back. I'll put these dinosaurs back. Oh. Dark Master says, any thoughts on the Tales of Chimere? You might like him as a fan of niche. Yes, it's a great YouTube Spec Evo project. Tales of Chimere. It's this world where there's an alien world, but it's like a garden world, and something happens every 5 million years ago or something. They import creatures from Earth and they specialize and adapt there. So you got this world where saber-toothed tiger descendants and post-dromaeosaurs and other dinosaurs exist together. And it's great with art and creature design. And I think the YouTube format is really innovative too. Rayondos says, do you like a book full of evil characters like Blood Meridian? I've actually never read Blood Meridian cover to cover. The author is a great author, but he's only and exclusively dark. Dark in terms of theme. I don't know. Jacques Green says, apparently my grandpa would threaten to join the John Birch Society just to mess with my mom. You see, it runs in generations. C Cyborg says, both of my parents are very conservative. I was scared to tell them that I was on estrogen. They found out, but I am content now. Neither of my parents are accepting of queer people, but in the end, things were easier and worked out nicer than. Yeah, I mean, you were lucky. That whole gender shift issue is a whole other can of worms, and I mean, you are lucky to have parents at least acquiescing to it. My dad is always angry and yells a lot. It feels like my family are addicted to being angry. Oh, I'm very, very sorry. Lord Grunwalder says, I miss my dad. I miss him too. I never knew him. I wish I did. But he did raise one hell of a son, and I am very proud of you. Okay. Edgar Spiedel says, do you have plans to publish a German edition of All Tomorrows? So here's the story. All Tomorrows is coming out. Very luckily, I must say, because the publisher is having financial difficulties, but thankfully, All Tomorrows is not impacted. And it has to come out as in English first in the UK, and then a couple of months later in the US. And then after that, it will be in next year's Frankfurt Book Fair, which I understand is like a great expo for book rights and publishers. And then if a German publisher picks it up from Unbound/Boundless there, well, then it can work out. C Cyborg says, do you have any tips for managing heat? I have no working air conditioning, and the drive home from work was a little rough. Just roll down the windows. In this country where I live, gas is so expensive that I literally, when I drive, I don't turn on the AC because the AC eats up gas. And I just roll down the windows and just live with it. There's also in my YouTube channel a video called How to Keep Working in the Heat. So you could enjoy that too. B asks, do you have any advice on staying motivated in uni? Well, I also have another video called How to Stay Motivated. B says, maybe I chose the wrong subject. I'm studying maths. Ask yourself this, do you hate the subject or do you hate the people? If you hate the people, if you hate the people, just persevere. Gnome's Child at the Base says, about 45 miles is more gas efficient to use AC. Rolled windows coast. Just come with me for one day. Spend your whole day crawling in the Istanbul traffic. 18 million people, 8 million vehicles, one city, two continents. Look, there's a practical tip. Get a bottle of water like this, okay? If the car is too hot, get a bottle of water like this, put it in the freezer, take it out when you're about to drive, wrap it in like a t-shirt, and then position it in the inside of your thigh, next to your femoral artery, where the heat There's a big artery there, and it will really help you cool down. Prehistoric Pigeon says, do you have a favorite dinosaur? I recently I've been really liking these strange things at the origin of common origins of sauropods and theropods. This thing is called Guibasaurus. It was like a pro sauropod. So it was almost like a bigger version of Silophysis that was adapting to eat plants, and it's got both sauropod and theropod like characters. It's got this very weird skull. Well, this is a reconstruction, of course. But I like those recently. Blue Starlet says, do you have any opinions on cephalopods? Look, go to this channel. I have a 2-hour video about every species of cephalopod in the world. Go watch that. Rogue Keychain says, love your stuff, man. Thank you. I love you too. Braden says, do you have any pets? Right now, I have these guys. Are you ready? Behold my Isopod gang. This is a mixed habitat of little isopods. There's one. There are also some giant polyphaga roaches in here, but I think they're burrowing right now, and I don't want to disturb them. Isopods. They're really cute. Like, you can watch them. They interact with each other. They're very social. Parents stay with children. These are like when if some of them die, I really feel upset. And special kudos to supporter of this channel, my friend Robotipi, for taking care of them last month. Yes, it's full of isopods in there. Real isopod hours. I'm looking at babies and stuff, but you can't really see them. I don't want to disturb them. I've recently gotten them these little egg carton things. And they really like playing in them. Those little tunnel things. And I mean, they're like, you watch these animals and you see that every living thing is a soul, and every living thing is self-aware. Isopod maxing. Nelson Morgan says, dumb question, but do they react to music? I don't know. I haven't tested it. I don't really play music at home or in my studio. I'm not like a social music enjoyer. But I wonder if they would react to like low frequency vibrations or like a very basic rhythm. They might enjoy it to be honest. What species of isopods? Mixed culture of Porcello and the other flat things that can't roll up into the ball. Can you see a fantasy version of All Tomorrows? I'm sorry, I can't. All Tomorrows is fantasy. I mean, a lot of the concepts there, they look realistic, but they're actually impossible. Hello, everybody, says Mishkin. Hello, my friend, long time follower of this channel. Once again, super chats. Instead, if you feel like super chatting me, go and subscribe to my Patreon instead. It's cheaper, and there's a problem. I can't claim super chats at the moment. Emmanuel asks, do you have a favorite obscure taxonomic group? I like cryptovermes. What the hell are cryptovermes? Well, there's this really useful book behind me called... Oh, wait, this isn't it. This is a great book too, but this is not it. Wait. There's this book called Animal Earth, The Amazing Diversity of Living Creatures by Ross Piper. And this book is all about minor phyla, that is to say, phylums that are known from, things like arrowworms and chinorhynchids and priopaulids. And this book is a treasure. It's full of these very obscure phyla, such as Dithyamida, these weird worm-like things that are known only from 125 species. And it looks like a fancy coffee table book, but I actually read this from cover to cover, and you really learn a lot. You really learn a lot. So I'm not going to name a favorite group, but I'm going to name a favorite book, Animal Earth. Consider getting it. Emmanuel says Gastrotica are very cool. Yes, yes. Gnome's Child says, is that a bobbit worm on the cover? Yes. How is the All Tomorrow's rewrite going, says J-Dog? It's going really well. If you follow me on Patreon, you can see some progress. Seriously, one of these days I'm going to make a wrong move and I'm going to slip a muscle. Okay, almost an hour in. Milady says, doesn't YouTube take a cut of this? Doesn't YouTube take a cut of the super chat money anyways? Yeah. I monetize the channel, but since this is a very niche channel and I'm not really in it for the number growing game, the money that's coming in is so small that I'm actually not claiming it. So because of that, I'd rather not have super chats, but Patreon memberships instead. What kind of animal is most likely to evolve towards something that humans would recognize as sapiens? On Earth, I think it would have to be something like birds, if you're talking out of mammals, or elephants, if you consider mammals too. They got language, they got individual awareness, and I think if they formed a civilization, that would also be based around individual members. 56 species. Oh my God. Did anyone join in recently? Just let me know. Did anyone join halfway through? Let's see all the halftime spectacular people around here. Milady says, Bera TR says, do you have any home animal? Well, you just missed them. My isopods. Halfway Gang. Star is a member. Jerry Caleb. Emmanuel. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Eli Amirami says, I keep having recurring dreams about orcas taking over the world from humans. How are they going to take over the land? Milady Cass says, I joined a few minutes ago. I was eating pizza and buffalo wings. Well, bon appetit. Ryando says, is the All Tomorrow's new rewrite going to introduce a new human? There's a lot more. A lot more. Like, I kid you not, like 5 times more, I think. You need to come to Patreon because there are some revelations there. Astro Mangos is finally back. Alice says hi. Alt History Zone says exciting. Ilhan Chebi says, can video games really be good for the mind? This is a nice question. I think when you're so between ages 6 and maybe 13, I think they can actually improve reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and like task-oriented thinking. Plus, they're fun. But I think, and maybe some of you are not going to agree with this, but I don't think it should be. I don't think video gaming is viable as a social activity after you're like 15, 17. After that, you should be focusing on other human beings rather than games. Although, maybe I'm a curmudgeon again here. Because like 2 years ago, I was in Eskişehir for a set of university talks. After the talks, I hung out with some All Tomorrow's fans and some friends. And some people in this group were like in their sophomore year in college or something. So they said like, sir, Mr. Kozuman, are you into video games? Do you want to play with us? I said, nah, thanks, I'll watch. So these 2 kids took out enormous laptops from their backpacks they'd been carrying with themselves all along, set them up on the cafe table, and started just playing a sort of beat 'em up with each other. So I think that's kind of cool. That's a cool way to play video games. But on the other hand, like I had this friend when I was in my late 20s, and he had wealthy parents. His parents outright owned the apartment he was living in. So they were just collecting rent. Plus they had a hell lot of other properties, fortunes, whatever. Lucky guy, okay? Born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Never had to work a day in his fucking life. It's like, oh, come in, bro. Show you my gaming rig. This guy is almost 30. Show you my gaming rig. And he's playing StarCraft there. Playing StarCraft. Just talking to me without eye contact. Then he had a girlfriend too. And he treated her the same way too. What a fucking loser. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, and then there's this combo of like the serial gamer / weed guy, and that's not a very happy outcome. I mean, like, there are these guys they're closer to my age than most of yours. Almost 60 people, man. Pump it up, pump it up. Yeah. Go, go, go. There are these guys, like aging millennials, who just have their whole life sorted out. Or sometimes not even that. Sometimes they don't have their life sorted out. They just like play StarCraft or whatever. I mean, I can't, of course, be the judge of everybody's free, to spend their life, but like you really see a wasted life. I mean, this guy's like full of ashtrays with like weed shit, paraphernalia, bongs. And the computer goes, let's go check this out. Yeah. Oh, wasted life. Fucking Coomer. Level 1 Libosh with a "Don't Tread on Me" snake logo. I assume you're one of these Turkish people of the libertarian libertarian political alignment. Don't take that shit hook, line, and sinker. Actually, yeah, maybe I can. Wait. My family ties with Jews. Oh my God. Brother, I am an ethnic Jew. My ancestors converted to Islam, to Turkishness, intermarried. I will show ties with. There's not the Jews around. There is the nation of Israel, which is fast becoming a rogue state, and it's doing all world Jews a disservice because they're painting them into a corner. Now, because of these wars and this ethnic cleansing, being a Jew is a dangerous proposition all over the world. I'll go on record having said that. But the Jews are not some like you don't. There's no Jew modem in your head. The Jews like data. I wish there was. There isn't. I am him. Jerry Caleb says libertarians got control of a city in the US. People got eaten by bears. Okay, so this is a multifaceted thing. I will have to actually. So there are libertarians in the United States, and they're like a bunch of them. Like there's the Ayn Rand variety saying like the state shouldn't tax me so much, which is okay, maybe. That has its uses. Then there are people like I should be able to own a rocket launcher and heavy weapons. Maybe even that, okay. But then there are these like when you get to the bottom of it, most US libertarians are like boys' toys kind of people. Boys' toys. Boys don't want to be lorded over. They don't want to be mothered. They don't want to be manhandled. They don't want nobody interfering with them. And a part of that is, as a man, understandable, but it doesn't really translate well into politics. I can understand being against high taxing and big government. I think there are very valid arguments there, but like if somebody is unironically using a yellow snake flag, I think that person's got a chip on his shoulder. Statistically, most likely. Now, that's my opinion on the American libertarian tradition. And yes, there was a town in which they tried this libertarian experiment and they ended up shitting in buckets and they couldn't cooperate in anything. And it's just atomization. You got to understand, like, the base condition for humans is a tribal society. And you're actually going against human nature if you're pushing too hard to be atomized, Don't tread on me, mama. Me, mama, me, mama. You got no one to blame but yourself. But then I will broach the other issue of the Turkish libertarian persuasion, which I'm excluding our friend in the chat. Maybe you're a cool guy. I have no qualms with you, okay? But let's get to the Turkish libertarian people. These guys learned English mostly online in the last 15 odd years. So their perception of cool and their understanding of the outside world is shaped mostly around YouTube and Discord and stuff. And they see all these like neocon memes or like alt-right memes and or like alt-right shit posting and libertarian shit. And look, some of those things are really cool if you haven't been to the United States or lived there as I did. So you got these Turkish people who've never been outside of Turkey or maybe have been outside for a few holidays but never lived or like interacted reliably with non-Turkish Westerners. But they think that's cool. I know that's what the Americans seem to be doing, and those are the cool guys. In Turkey, there's this added dimension of, well, the dominant political strand of conservatism, okay? So you got like, oh, I'm no Islamic simpleton. I'm no AK payman. I'm beyond your petty struggles. I'm a libertarian. I am beyond. So in Turkey, politically, there's this generally this big axis of struggle between something like the neocons, represented by the current government for the past 30 years almost, and the Kemalists, who represent Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's secular principles for organization of the Turkish Republic. I'm really summarizing. A lot of these libertarians accidentally or maybe intentionally end up glazing the more hardcore reactionary government because they think, oh, Kemalism, that's not cool. I don't want big government. I'm beyond your dichotomies. Well, let's see your passport, motherfucker. You're not beyond anything. And I say, this third way libertarian option, it's more despicable. Go be a chest thumping supporter of the governmental consensus. I would respect that more. Be an Islamic conservative. I respect that actually. Be a Kemalist. Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. But as things stand now, the Turkish libertarianism are just like some crock of shit cargo cult. There's one shrewd businessman by the name of Besim Tibuk who I respect and I admire. They sometimes like prop him up as a kind of like, no, it doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. They stick out like a sore thumb. Sorry, I've been going on for a while because like, oh God. Oh, okay. What have people been saying? So like, I will say this much and leave it at that. A Turkish libertarian is as reprehensible, as disgusting, as spineless, and there's just something like a rat about them. You want to vomit, You don't know why you're disgusted by the libertarianism. You just are. If you're a Turkish person and you're pretending to be such a thing, okay, all the more power to you. But you would leave the same impression on any member of the real Western world as someone from Mogadishu coming to Istanbul or fucking Gazi Osman Pasha, whatever, and saying Erdogan, Erdogan, waving a flag. It's the same. It's the same. It's worse than the same thing. Got me all political and shit. Okay. Reset my head now. Okay, what have people been saying? Smoking weed, letting people live and let live, reducing excessive taxes seems fine. Just don't fit with Republicans or far left wingers. I call myself libertarian. Okay, you see, I mean that's a different case. Some questions, some conversation between everybody's talking politics. We're talking about Yuri and politics. Okay. I will tell you my politics. Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. Happy is he who says I am a Turk. All I care is the continued unity of the country I live in, okay? Beyond that, it's all fasafiso. And if when you're engaging with politics, also watch out whose tool you risk end up being as. Also, note for American friends, a lot of people from outside America have their domestic political views and their American political views. And they might be more left leaning in the States, but in their own country they might be center right wing or right wing. Berat says MHP. I really respect the MHP's founder Alparslan Türkeş. The old-time politicians. Sorry, American friends. I'll just drop a few names and then I'll change the subject. Alparslan Türkeş, even Necmettin Erbakan, Ecevit. These were very, very like real political figures. You might even argue that Erdogan has done a great service to the Turkish nation, because without him, Turkey would not have been able to root out the Gülenist network. It would have risked being a secular Islamic civil war, but Erdogan did the whole Darth Vader thing, threw the emperor down the shaft. Okay, anyways. Ülkü Tuncay Küçüktaş says Alparslan Türkeş mentioned. Okay, enough politics. The topic of this video, dinosaur, bug, book, world. Yeah. Have to go now, says I'm sorry, I hope I didn't bore you. 57 people watching, oh my god. What do you think of HR Giger, says Braden? Big fan. Big fan. I've been collecting a lot of his works. Books, not works. He even got a signed edition. This is his great book, Necronomicon. His big art book. One of my most prized positions, huh? Everybody's asking about the scorpion thing in the background. It's not a book actually, it's a teaching aid. I'll tell you the story of this and the lizard. So these are actually teaching aids from a Greek high school in Istanbul. And they're all in Greek. It says here Scorpios, Arachni, Staura Rachis, I Epira, I Sias. I can't read smaller case. I can read uppercase Greek too. And these are the lizards. Saura I Koini. This one. Viviparous lizards, probably. Number 2, Saura I Prasini, the green lizard. Lacerta viridis. And number 3, Chameleon. Silamvanon Yatis. My Greek's getting rusty. They were restoring one of the Greek high schools in Istanbul and turning it into a culture center because there were no students left because, well, Greek people just don't live in high numbers in Istanbul anymore. And during the restoration, I was passing by the building and I saw these in the garbage bin right outside. So they were throwing these out. There were a couple of more, but they were soaked with like garbage juice. So I rescued these. They are with me. I mean, I don't know why the fuck they would throw them away. I think these are gorgeous. There's no date on them, but I would say maybe they're from the 1950s or something. I don't know. Captain Mushi asks, are there going to be new species in the new Old Tomorrows? I answered this question before. Yes. I haven't read I Have No Mats and I Must Scream. I love the background on the... Yeah, these were like teaching aids. They were very common in Greece, Italy, France, even Turkey. And they were part of education in the world before computers. There's some yaoi and Yuri conversation. Altistry says, Edgion Imaran. Any Greek friends in the chat, please let me know. I actually know a little Greek on account of my paternal grandfather's family and the whole romantic story when I was way younger. I know how to speak bits and pieces. My paternal grandfather descended from people from Crete, the island of Crete. And in Crete, the Turks spoke Greek too. Strange twist of history. So, xero ligo elonika, I can say, Mia tavola perdio adamo parakalo. Or What are you thinking? Tiiskeftese chat. Kiiste. Tiiskeftese. Milady, let's not obsess over. Look, guys and gals, everything in between. Please chill on the sexy talk on the chat. I mean, I think you're kicking this stream down in the algorithm. Plus, I'm not scrolling through I'm not able to see the proper questions. Captain Mushi, please let other people speak. Do not hog the chat. Dark Master says scorpions are neat. What species can be found in Turkey? Are there harvestmen over there? Yes, there are. There are harvestmen here. They're quite common and speciose. And if you go to central Anatolia, there are many more species. And scorpions too. A lot of. I was good friends with Dr. Bayram Göçmen online, and he named a few scorpion species. Like Anatolia on the whole is very generally very diverse when it comes to invertebrates. Jacob Stisen, dog or cat? Probably cats, or if it has to be a dog, it has to be like one of those senior fat dogs. Do you know anything about axolotls? I know a little. They make very low maintenance pets. They're neat. Italo Lucena Vaz. I had a bunch of books like that scorpion thing. Very nostalgic. Yeah, if you live in a Mediterranean country, Spain, Italy, there are some really nice vintage nature books, and I think they're still very cheap, so you can collect them. Do you know any Turkish poets? I know a few. Let me bring out a book. Well, actually, I can't bring the book because it's not a book of poetry. But I like poems by Necip Fazıl Kısakürek, who is a very controversial figure. He was an ultra liberal who became an Islamist, but he had a God given gift of poetry. I think he was a great poet. He has this sort of weird righteousness in his poems. I think if he was born like a few 50 years later, he would have been a good rapper too, to be honest. Turkish poetry is very big and extensive. I don't know as much about it as I should. YouTube Joseph says, Would it be possible for limbless eels to evolve into amphibious forms that could come onto land and eventually become reptile-like? Maybe not eels, but lungfish. There are eel-like lungfish too, especially in Australia and I think South Africa. And some of those could evolve into like land eels. Is rap a big thing in Turkey? Yes. It all started in the mid 1990s with this one band called Cartel, who were actually people of Turkish descent living in Germany, but they were like rapping about being outcasts in society there. Then it evolved, and in the early 2000s, there are a lot of names, but one of the biggest names was another rapper called Ceza. I think he's a very solid rap artist. And he had a big kind of protracted conflict with another rapper called Sagopa Kajmer, whose music and songs I really admire. And their battle was a big thing, you know. Plus, there's a few other names too, like Ege Çubukçu, I'm a big fan of. Mert İçgören was a big, he raps about like the high life and girls, and he's got a couple of lines which I never forget, written at the time of inflation. Sen istediğin kadar ato sıfırları, ben de trilyonlarla hala Türk liraları, he says, which is, you can cancel out zeros as much as you like, but still I have liras by the trillions. Which was, I think, very apt. And then more recently, rap itself became kind of contentious because, well, for the lack of a better word, the genre was hacked or hijacked by like drug dealers and terrorism supporters and just like rubes, really. But then there are a few bright names too, like who was the guy who made Mekanın Sahibi? Fuck, I should know better. Please mention in chat. Norm Ender, yes, that guy. He's nice. Although he made a really cringe anthem kind of raw song, which was okay. C Cyborg says, do you mosh? I used to when I was younger. But I think the last time I moshed was, I was 22 or something. And I was headbanging and like jumping into a crowd. It was a venue that was playing punk music. They were playing Anarchy in the UK, and I accidentally hit somebody's beer glass with my orbit, and it really hurt. I would be like, hold my glasses, please. Whoop. But yeah, not anymore. Bryden says, I like your ASMR reading of the 3 visions of Zosimos. You should do more. Well, thank you. I'm glad someone likes them, because that video didn't have that too many views. Milady Class says, thoughts on System of a Down. I love their music. Every friend group had a guy that looked like Serj Tankian in the mid-2000s, and the whole goatee thing in Turkey too. I love their music. Na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na na. Onur Tatar says, the Turkish rapper Norm Ender is also controversial, as he was first known with an anti-feminist poem, and currently he's writing anthems for the centenary of the Turkish Republic. Yes. Well, the unspoken fact about popular culture in Turkey too, everybody Until like 2016 or something, everybody was all misogynistic, all homophobic all the time. I mean, they're like iconic cartoonists, and I'm not saying this to like dein denigrate them or like insult them, but like some very popular cartoon series. For example, there's one with like like a anti-hero street thug cat called Kötü Keti Şerafettin. And it was like all rape, all homophobia, like all slurs all the time. Everybody was like that. So I don't know if you can really hold it against them. But yeah, that Norm Enders, the song that carried Norm Ender to fame was an unfortunate one. Warden says, what kind of music do you typically listen to? Well, very easy. Go to my YouTube channel, go to playlists, go to my favorite music. It's all there. ASMR, sadly, is something that people only like when it's done by women, says the Dark Master. At least that's what I've seen other people say. Well, you'd be surprised to see what a lot of those views are for. You'd be surprised to see. Edward Dory says, why do you hate on Jack Kerouac so much? So maybe some apologies are in order there. I was talking recently about that other book, Naked Lunch, but sometimes the Naked Lunch is lumped with Jack Kerouac's On the Road as a kind of like American novel experience. And I told then that On the Road was a mid book, and anybody who likes it was mid until proven otherwise. And now I see that was maybe harsh. So apologies, I will take the L there. That being said, that opinion was formed by some people I knew growing up. And like I know Edward Dory is a long time like commenter on my page and my YouTube channel. So I know you're not one of those people, but like I know a lot of guys who never read, they wouldn't even be able to read a magazine from cover to cover. Yet, like every summer holiday, I saw these assholes like with their like dog-eared copies of On the Road, and just such a cat. Just go with the flow and just talking. It's a beach accessory, that book, for them, and that colored my view of at least some people who read that book. So apologies. Have you seen any Stanley Kubrick films? What do you think of him? I think Barry Lyndon is a masterpiece. If you are like planning a night with a significant other, just go watch that film, Barry Lyndon. That's Barry Lyndon, Lyndon. It's like one of those few, very few movies which make you feel like you're looking into a time machine. The suspension of disbelief is complete. Milady Class says, what's your favorite Turkish dessert? We spoke about this a lot with on other streams. I'm a big fan of these Kemal Pasha desserts, which are these like balls of semolina soaked in honey. Popular says, Kozeman brings hope during dark times. Well, thank you. I'm gonna try to like entertain you in another way. Just wait. Na na na na na na na. Just a second. I'm just boomering this thing. Okay, so do you like Turkish delight? Says Milady Class. Yes, I do. Edward Dory says, apology accepted, Commander. I have an Instagram page on which I pretend to be a combo of Jack Kerouac, Henry Miller, and Matty Healy. I really like Kerouac as an archetypical representation of the bohemian artist. All right, I mean, different tastes for different people. Kerouac and also Catcher in the Rye. What was the motherfucker who wrote that? Ah, Perfect Day for Banana Fish. He has also other stuff. What was the name? Salinger. Okay, yes, Salinger and Kerouac. They never sat right with me, but that's my own humble opinion. Okay, do you all wanna see my genetic connections to the Jews? Were you part of the Lost Madness back in the day? Fuck. Omolomono. What's this user's name? Omono Lonomo. Okay. Oh my god. I had this one friend just smoking weed all the time, just watching, oh, what's Hurley gonna do? What's the pit? What's the thing? It never, I'm sorry, but Lost, I understand it's becoming popular among younger people again. You could tell they were like, there's a Turkish expression, osur osur ipe diz amına koyuyum. It is like fart, fart, and string them up. It's just making up shit as he goes along. And it was directed by J.J. Abrams, and that's his trademark failure. He also messed up the Star Wars sequels that way. A whole lot of nothing, yes. I could smell that certain series like Lost and also Game of Thrones, they were problem. Can you start doing live streams more often, says YouTube Joseph? Look, these are hard. They are very tiring. It's like nearly 2 a.m. now. I got work tomorrow. These leave me very tired. I enjoy it, but you know, I can't really like do this all the time. Plus, I would rather do videos with like deep research and interesting original stuff. And I think that's like also as a creator, a more honorable thing to do. Yeah. Getting sleepy now. Elia Mirami, Tolkien is based. Yes, I like it. Any thoughts on Tolkien's work? I think it's nice. I haven't read a lot of him, though. What do you think about Bulgaria, says Milady Cass? It's a nice country. I've never been there. A lot of people in Turkey have dual Bulgarian citizenship because Bulgaria is like one third Muslim or Turkish. Well, within the Muslims, there's a lot of groups, but a large percentage of those are Turkish or Turkish adjacent, like Pomaks or Gagavuz. I wish maybe I'll go there sometime. My great aunt visited from Turkey, and after she left, there's a bowl of Turkish delight on table. Mr. Crush says, "Do you work out?" I go jogging and walking every day. Edward Dory says, creators like Wendigoon are able to do streams, YouTube videos, and second channel stuff because they have a huge team behind them. True, I am very lucky and blessed to have 53,000 subscribers now. But if I had 500,000, it would be a different story because then the revenue would be enough to hire people, and I could have done that. Like, you just need numbers, but I don't chase numbers particularly. I never have, never will. But if they come, I don't run. Looking out for trouble, then, then, then, but if it comes, I don't run. Na na na na na na. Okay, let's look at my gene results, okay? So I had a genetic test from Family Tree DNA 5 years ago. And then when you do a DNA test, you get the raw data. You can then send the raw data to a number of other companies and services. And as the sample sizes grow, they can make new connections, or they can further refine who or what are you, what you are. So this was my thing. I stand the closest to Ashkenazi Jews and the Greek mainland and the Italian south. And actually, just a second. So they can trace, sorry. So they can like compare your DNA to other populations with this illustrative DNA sample. And the closest I am is apparently the medieval European Jews of Erfurt, followed by Byzantine Anatolians and Balıkesir, and then South Italians, European Jews, and Greek islanders. In modern comparison, I come up as a Ashkenazi Jew, which is strange. I mean, we knew in our family there was a Jewish connection, but we always thought it would be a Sephardic thing. But apparently, we're closer to the other branch, which is the European branch. But I think that connects through the Cretan connection, because apparently the people of Crete have a lot of genetic similarity to Ashkenazi Jews. And then they compare your DNA to, well, Bronze Age samples, which really doesn't mean much, but apparently this is a Canaanite. In the Iron Age, it's closer to Italics and Etruscans, and in late antiquity, it's closer to the Roman Levant, and then in the Middle Ages, European Jew with a gnome hat. That's the hat the Jews wear, apparently. Anakin says, %100 Türksün abi. Well, ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. Looking radiant, my lord, says Zombie Salmon. Do you feel comfortable giving your DNA like this? I already shared these results on Reddit, and a lot of people saw it, so I don't mind. And you mean to companies and stuff? Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people do it. Ilhan Chebi, have you ever listened to Radiohead? Yes, I'm not a huge fan of their music. Really am not. It's making a comeback again, and when I was a teenager it was very big in my community too, among young people, or like cool hip young people. But Tom York always struck me as a kind of pretentious asshole. Stump says, happy to have caught your stream, Mr. Cosman. Huge fan of your work. Thank you so much. Can they even do anything bad with people's DNA? I mean, if somebody really wanted, they could probably create a tailor-made virus against you. But why? Like, unless if DNA was used to like connect your bank accounts or your state documents or something, I don't think it's gonna work. I know there was controversy with one company that their data got leaked, and I think it's a legal obligation. I think carrying a smartphone around reveals more about your private life to unscrupulous individuals and agencies than like I could be taking 5 DNA tests and giving them my cum every year, and it would still be less compromising. Edward Dory asked a really nice question, and after that, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Hmm. That's the only thing that changes as you age. Sleep. How do you feel about being at this kind of an in between stage? You appeal to a lot of younger people, and you are aware of TikTok and Instagram trends, yet many people in your generation are kind of fading out. Well, I always had a healthy hatred and disdain for people in my generation, especially those in Turkey. And I know it's very easy to like try to come try to keep up with the appearance of being young and coming across as, hey, you young people, how are you doing? But that's stupid too. I don't know. I think it's the popularity of all tomorrows. I mean, thanks to that, I got many young people interested in me. I think the book resonates with many teenage or adolescent theories or feelings or emotions. So I think that was my lucky break. Megeo says, am I late? You are late, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm going to call it a night, but it's 62 people watching. It's close to a record. Our record on this channel was 70 people. So let's have a shout out where you are from. Where are you from? If you haven't told already, we did a first round earlier, but let me know where you're from, and then I'll say good night. Good night, Ellie. Good night, Denmark. Good night, Istanbul. Good night, New Jersey. Good night, Bristol. Good night, Zurich. Good night, Norway. Good night, Nebraska. Good night, Turkey. Good night, Georgia. Good night, Leeds. Good night to Izmir, Ankara, Brazil. Good night to Colorado, home of Kringle. Good night to Ohio. Good night to New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Good night to Boise, Idaho. Good night to Bursa. Hello, habitual trials. Nearly 2 hours. I'm going to clock out. I hope you had a great night, everybody. Good night, Wisconsin. Good night, San Diego. This was great. Good night, Mississippi. Good night, good night, good night, everybody. Good night to the Umayyad Emevi Halifeliği, Umayyad Caliphate. I'm going to watch your new video now. Good night to Florida. Well, glad to have caught this. If you're just coming in, just watch the replay. Good night, and I love you all. Thanks for being my fans.